Hello and welcome to the Warner Robins Air Logistics Complex Commercial Capabilities Showcase AMA, hosted by Small Business Consulting Corporation. The AMA today is going to go into detail regarding what this showcase is about, what the benefits are for you, how to apply, and then to give you a chance to directly ask any initial questions that you may have. Again, welcome. My name is Cody Ray. I am the Deputy Director of Technology Scouting and Vetting for Small Business Consulting Corporation, and I'm leading the effort on this showcase. I'd like to give a couple of the gentlemen a chance to introduce themselves. Mike Hansen, would you like to share for a moment?
Yeah, thank you, Cody. Mike Hansen, former B-1 pilot, maintenance officer, expert in operations, and proud member of the SBCC team, and looking forward to working with all of you to solve Warner Robins problems here. You got it, Cody.
Thank you, sir. Ryan.
Hey, good day, everybody. I'm Ryan Erickson. I go by Leaf, a project manager over here at SBCC. But for this effort, my primary focus is on the drone submissions. So if you have drone technology or small unmanned aircraft system technology that you want to incorporate into this showcase, we'd love to see what you have to offer. I'm a big fan of commercial technology addressing problems for the DoD. I think everybody on this panel is as well. So I'll be your point of contact. We'll walk through those steps here in a minute, but feel free to chime in with your questions via the Q&A aspect. If you have anything regarding drones, I'll be quick to respond. Looking forward to it. Stand by.
Very good. So for the companies that are on here today, just as we get started, want to remind you first, when you have questions, please use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen or the side, wherever you have it. Do not use the chat feature, but use the Q&A to ask questions. We got a team of folks working off camera to either respond directly or leave it up for us to answer it publicly. A couple other things to help your company. One, be careful not to share proprietary information in the questions that you ask. We want to make sure you keep your secret sauce secret for you. And this meeting is being recorded. for other companies that couldn't attend today but want to come check this out later, or for you if you want to check it out later. So again, be sure to be just mindful of what you ask or share in this meeting today. So to you directly, commercial companies, I want to speak for a moment. The United States Air Force and Small Business Consulting Corporation are very glad that you're here. You're literally why SBCC exists. At SBCC, we work with multiple major commands in the United States Air Force as part of their commercial capabilities, integration, and transition initiatives. What we are is a advisory and assistance service provider to the federal government. We're hired by them to find the technology that our warfighters need to be and remain superior. Now, one of our emphases is scouring the technology landscape to bring the Air Force and DoD technologies, one, that they didn't even know existed, but two, what we really like to do is to find out precisely what our military needs, what they're willing to put manpower, resources, and money towards, and go find solutions that meet those needs. You likely know that the military can be a lucrative partner for companies, but you may also know it can be a long, hard road to navigate. It's really too hard, and it's one of the reasons we exist, to make it easier for you to interact with the government. The military's primary focus has really not been on being a great business partner. The military's focus has been on keeping our United States safe by being strong and quick, by deterring threats, and also by being ready to punch our enemies in the mouth hard when that's necessary. Our purpose at SBCC is to help the military work well with companies like yours, and we want to make it easier for you to understand and do business with the military. I always like to remind businesses that since the government has hired us, we are a free service to companies like you with whom we work. You don't pay us anything. We're here to make your interactions with the government smooth and as easy as possible. We are on contract with several major commands in the Air Force. We're actively working many projects with them, bringing them new technologies. But one of the most public ways that we do this is by hosting commercial capability showcases. Our last showcase was with Air Force Global Strike Command. It was a large showcase with 5 different topic areas, and it allowed many companies to come present as finalists, and several of those companies were selected as winners by Global Strike Command, and they began working directly with that command. For this showcase, Warner Robins Air Logistics Complex has hired us to help them find the best technologies to get after one of their perennial problems, which is general visual inspection. So just briefly, let's dig into the details of what that's going to be. Mike Hansen, can you take this one and describe a little bit about what this particular showcase is about and how we can help Warner Robins?
Yeah, absolutely, Cody, my pleasure. So we've been in war for the last 20 years, and the airplanes and the people have been out there doing the JOB and doing it well. And Warner Robins Air Logistics Complex is part of that system that allows those airplanes to go back and continue the fight. And what we found is that the human visual inspection takes a significant amount of time. It requires lifts, stands. It puts people into precarious situations, and it takes a lot of effort to get those done. Well, it's so important, we can't stop doing it. So we're trying to find a new way to do it. And we want to use basically small unmanned aerial systems to go out and provide a general visual inspection of the aircraft and other large assets, to include buildings, maybe fuel tanks, and things such as that. The desire is to look at various anomalies, to include missing fasteners, scratches, dents, paint issues, cracks on buildings, roof integrity, any cracking or rotting. And that's why we're here today. We want to take your technologies and couple it with the relationship of the Warner Robins Air Logistics Complex and make that winning team.
Fantastic. Thanks, Mike. So how do companies benefit from participating in this showcase? Well, there's kind of 2 big categories for that, and I want to make sure those things are very clear at the beginning. First, there's benefits to each company that submits an application, even just submitting the application, because your submission is going to be evaluated by United States Air Force maintenance, repair, and overhaul SMEs. These are subject matter experts that will look at your technology and be able to give you valuable feedback, where your submission was strong, where your technology is strong, where it could be improved. Your evaluators may identify additional areas and ways that your technology could be beneficial to the United States Air Force or DoD in other contexts, and possibly suggest connections for you. Our company, SBCC, can also offer potential connections with the same or additional problem sets that we're aware of from our own work with other commands, such as Global Strike Command, Air Mobility Command, AETC. We may be aware of ways that your tech could scratch the itch of other U.S. Air Force customers, and that we can share with you. So you'll be added to our business network database, so that when the Air Force, the DoD customers come to us for technology solutions, and we begin looking up in our database solution providers, your name pops up because you submitted and you're now in our business network. So those are some initial things to be mindful of that are benefits just from applying. You put your foot into a larger world and begin to get closer connections with Air Force decision makers. But particularly for those of you who go on to be down selected and come to Warner Robins to present, you're going to be invited to show up in person to demonstrate your technology to these key decision makers who control over $2 million of identified funds for a solution to this problem statement in fiscal year 27. There's going to be additional research and development funding that may be available to you between the showcase competition and that fiscal year 27, and SBCC can assist you, again, free of charge with that process. You're also going to receive, again, if you're one of the finalists, in-person feedback with subject matter experts with extensive MRO experience, folks who know this area and can help you refine and perfect your technology, maybe ways that will broaden the appeal of it and potentially get you further contracts in the future. You'll also have the opportunity to build relationships with these decision makers from Warner Robins, potentially other Air Force depots, Air Force key personnel at the showcase event, and there's a 2-hour collider event later that evening. So after you present that evening, there's be a collider event where the decision makers will be there. SBCC is going to be there. We have venture capital representatives that are going to be there. So we're trying to look at this from beginning to end, how we can add value both to the companies and to our United States Air Force partner. And we tend to do that and to do it very well. So those are the benefits that you can expect. Now, what's the process? How do you apply, and how will these submissions be evaluated? Applications are being accepted, well, they started November 10th. They'll be accepted through December 10th. Maybe we can put the website in the chat. That would be helpful for folks. We are not looking for large proposals and submissions. In fact, we're mandating that they be concise and clear. So you have a quad chart that we'll ask you to fill out, a very short white paper, and then an option for a 3-minute video. If you are bringing drones to the Air Museum, where this is going to be hosted in Warner Robins, Georgia, there's going to be a SUAS waiver that we need you to fill out. In fact, probably better, I believe I'm saying this right, somebody correct me if not, but better to fill that out immediately if you plan on applying, because there's a waiver process that takes some time. So even before you get your submission in, try to go ahead and click that link. That link's available on the website for this showcase. So those submissions are going to come in, and the fine folks and SMEs at Warner Robins Air Logistics Complex is going to begin evaluating the applications. SBCC will assist, but this is a majority Warner Robins effort. We're going to be using Valid Eval and their sophisticated rubrics and algorithms to ensure that every company receives unbiased and equal treatment. Warner Robins is, of course, going to make the final down selection decision in early January, and then invitations will go out. Finalists will be invited for in-person demonstration at the Museum of Aviation in Warner Robins, Georgia. That's going to be held on February the 19th. And again, after the day is over, that evening, there's going to be a Collider social event that they'll be invited to as well. So those are the main pieces of this. super excited you're here. Really, really eager to see what fantastic technologies that you've been working hard to develop, how we can get those into the hands of our warfighters and improve our United States military and protect and defend our United States better. So with that, I think we had time for questions. Leaf, sorry, Ryan, we had a question that you wanted to lead off with. If you want to go ahead and start, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
absolutely. We received a question regarding the drone waiver process, and keep in mind that the naming convention we use is kind of a misnomer. We need the information so we can submit a waiver if your system requires a waiver. Regardless, we still need to know what drone you're bringing, the make, model, and type. Particularly, the question was that they have a Skydio X2D model drone that's already on the Blue UAS list, which is great. Please let us know how many you plan to bring, operator qualifications, etc. For those types of drones, just go through the form and click on unmodified, and the rest is pretty intuitive. It should not take long. But please, regardless if you feel like your drone needs a waiver or not, please let us know what the make, model, type, etc. via filling out that quote unquote waiver form. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Ryan. Some of you have seen that now's a great time to go ahead and be populating your questions. Mike, if you want to go ahead and pull up those Q&As. The first question there, are we limited to showcase one technology or can we show more than one?
So you only have to turn in one request, but show all your technologies. It would be optimal if you had a small unmanned aerial system that had optics and had machine learning and all of that. But if you can be a piece of the puzzle and we can put those puzzles together, it still puts together the right picture that we want to see. So you're not limited to one type of technology. It would be optimal if it was all together, but if you have something that can be beneficial, add it and let's take a look at it.
Thanks, Mike. Next question that's come in is what aircraft will be used for inspection demonstration?
So right now it's going to be a C-141 for the outside demonstration, and I think we're still working what the indoor demonstration to get confirmed was. But it'll be the same piece on the airplane to look at by everybody. Right now, a high-tail C-141 for the outside, and more information to follow on the inside.
Very good. Thanks, Mike. The other question we have coming here is, do we get to pick the aircraft type at the museum we inspect or outdoor only? You addressed that some, but you want to fill that question out, Mike?
Yeah, so we're going to have it so it's the level playing field, and I just got reminded that there will either be a C-141 or a C-130 outside for technology, your technology to look at.
And then comments on indoor versus outdoor only, Mike?
If you require indoor operation, please let us know, and we will start working that specifically.
Hey, Cody, something to add. If you require a CAD model for the aircraft as well, just put that in your 2-page white paper. Let us know what requirements your technology would need prior to going airborne if you're leveraging a drone. And if you're capable of only outdoor, please let us know in your proposals as well.
Fantastic. All right, next question. Whoops, let me scroll back up. Assuming the UAS is piloted by an operator, what tech is planned to be used for capturing the observations of the visual inspection? My assumption is that the operator would be required to capture the data and enter it into some sort of collection system.
We're going to actually, it's being typed right now, get specific data on that. If you don't have a collection system that you're evaluating within, that would be optimal. We will find out before this closes exactly what system will be used and have that available for everybody.
Yep, very good. Next question. So this is not restricted to drone solutions, but drones are preferred.
I'll take this question, Cody. Can you go back to the different verticals that we're looking for, Joel? That slide that depicted, blue sky, optics, great. So drones is just one aspect that we think, it's just one aspect of the technology we think that would solve the problem. There's that caveat, that fifth one that we call blue sky, which essentially is saying what is great out there, tackling that's aligned with the problem. What technology is aligned with the problem that's not already identified. We understand we're not the best at commercial technology. That's why we're leveraging companies on this call. So yeah, your hands are not tied to what's depicted here. In fact, that blue sky should encompass any other aspect that we've missed. So annotate that in your proposal. Just like it was mentioned earlier, your technology could be aligned with 1, 2, or even 5 of these aspects. But please, we need your help to solve this problem. Our best guess was those 4 technology areas, but then there's that 5th one that opens up the aperture. Thank you.
Real quick,
Yeah, we
Cody.
don't know what. Go ahead, Mike.
Just got some clarification on the previous question. There is currently no government system for downloading drone imagery into. So the expectation is that unless a company shows up with that technology and you're willing to download your imagery into that you would have your own way to download and analyze the images that you collect.
Yeah, very good. Okay, yep, thank you. That one is answered. Okay, next question. I saw we have 1 hour to demonstrate the technology. Will we have access to the museum aircraft for a dry run ahead of time so that I can have results processed during the demo?
So Cody, would you mind answering that one?
Yeah, so we're going to be having companies come in and go ahead and do their evaluations, live. You can take the time that you need to do the processing, and then we're going to set a time frame by which we need the results to be aggregated and sent over to us. Anybody want to add anything to that, team?
The short answer earlier, if you needed, for instance, the CAD model of an aircraft, et cetera, just let us know what requirements the company will need from your perspective for that 1 hour time block to be successful. You can put that in your 2-page white paper, make another aspects for the showcase to be successful from our end. And we'll do our best to accommodate that.
Yeah, and also as we move forward with this, we're going to make sure that everybody has kind of equal opportunity in their evaluation. So we'll have to keep our evaluations to a certain sort of a small scope so that everybody has time to come in, do their evaluation, process their data, and get us information, all in a timely manner. And that's for those who actually are giving the full evaluation. Some of you may only bring partial solutions, and you're certainly welcome to submit that as well. Next question, is there a specific time frame for post-processing, i.e. applying CV models?
So we realize that that's going to take a little bit of time. We're not expecting it like immediately. We're looking at maybe 1 hour to 2 hours after everything is processed to be able to deliver. That's the preference, is going to be that time frame. If you do have to go off station and analyze and then send the data back, that is going to be evaluated in the valid eval process of it, and it will unfortunately be a deduction.
And just keep in mind too that we're trying to advance the ball. So we would prefer solutions that are providing better results than humans and faster time in ways that keep them safer. Those are just sort of the kind of obvious parameters. So just keep that in mind as well. Next question, why choose an aircraft not in the fleet with C-141, B-1, and C-130 in the museum are better?
So we're doing an aircraft inspection. If the aircraft's in the fleet or not in the fleet, it's still the basic same technology of riveted metal and painted metal. And we also have an ability to go out there and look at the C-130 and the C-141 and create an evaluation criteria that we can judge everybody fairly by. So it allows better, there's better areas around the C-141 and C-130 to set up your equipment, operate, and for other people to view it. And so we just went with the two best airframes for us to allow you to show off your technologies and show us what you can do. Over.
Thanks, Mike. Next question, does it specifically need to be a flyable drone, a small UAS, or can it be something like a robotic, I think I just lost that question, like a robotic arm that does the inspection?
The preference is a flyable drone, but if you have a robotic inspection arm that can go out there and do the job and reach up to the top of a C5, bring it, submit it, and then let it go through the valid eval process. And if you get down selected and get invited, come show what you can do.
Yeah, that's just a good reminder of that blue sky option. You know, we don't know what we don't know. Initially, the thought is, you know, autonomous drones. But if there's other technology out there that can get after the general visual inspection piece and do it well, do it better than humans, faster, keeping them safer, you know, apply. And it may well be that yours gets selected through the process. Another question's come in. How mature does the technology need to be? If we're mid-SBIR with a highly relevant solution, how do you suggest that we participate?
I can take that, Cody. We're looking, just like Cody mentioned earlier, the end state is FY27 with some sustainment funds. So that's our goal, is to have Warner Robins ALC a solution during that time frame. So depending on where you're at now, what's the R&D timeframe look like? Again, let that be known in your commercialization aspect of your proposal. And there's definitely an avenue to advance that TRL to get to 9 before FY27. We'd love to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a reminder, again, one of the benefits that comes to companies who you know, participate and are down selected is that we may be able to help them as they are trying to find other research dollars to continue to develop their technology. So keep that in mind as well. Next question, will we have access to the internals of the aircraft?
So right now, no, but if there's a special need, like has been said before, let us know, reach out, and if it makes sense, we'll see what we can do to try to make this the most successful for you we can. Over.
Great. Any particular requirements for tech maturity, i.e. TRL 5, 2, etc.?
Our goal is to get to 9 by fiscal 27. So every technology advances at different rates. So if you think it's feasible to get to 9 by FY27, we'd love to hear it. If you think it's great technology that might need a little bit further on the R&D timeframe, but it would benefit greatly Warner Robins, then submit it as well. We're flexible to get things to the warfighter. So agnostic to your current TRL status today, if it'll help us tomorrow, submit.
Super. Thanks, Ryan. Okay, I'm seeing 2 more questions. Another one popped up, so just feel free to keep populating those. Does the United States Air Force have preference for 1, leveraging existing COTS EAR-99 tech that is already deployed across commercial industry, or 2, overseeing a custom deployment?
We're interested in what's the best. If there's a commercial application out there that's right now usable and feasible for what we're doing, we're definitely interested in it. But I'll tell you, what makes our country great is the ingenuity of our people. And there's things being developed every day that make stuff that we thought was wonderful 2 days ago make us wonder why it even exists. So I say we're open to both of them. And if you have something that you think that can be used, please offer it.
Super. Thanks, Mike. Will each team be demonstrating the technology in front of the other teams or just the evaluators and stakeholders?
Cody, you want to take that one?
I know when we of course want to keep proprietary information proprietary, and when we're going to make sure that happens. So when companies are presenting and they're getting questions back from key government decision makers, we're going to keep them separate. when you're, out and about, if there's a drone flying, at that point, I'm not, we need to talk to the companies to find out if there's some reason why we need to make sure that nobody sees your drone flying. But when you're, again, doing your presentation, we want to do everything we can, really the whole time, to make sure you keep your proprietary information, careful and hidden. So if there's particular things that you need, including, having it out and about, not wanting folks to see it, just know this is a public facility. This museum is public, and, folks will be able to see it operating. We certainly can cordon off a space and make sure that, folks that are hearing, listening, asking, and receiving answers to questions, are cordoned off. So anybody else want to add anything to that? I think I've answered that one well.
You hit it. You hit it well, Cody. Just whenever you're doing your presentations, it's not an open venue. It is a public area, but we'll keep everything tailored for your audience and only invite the company, one at a time. Having said that, we're asking for a myriad of technologies to come together to solve a problem. So keep that in mind. You may have one aspect of the solution, another company may have a different aspect. The FY27 funding may be for 3 or 4 different companies with their IPs coming together for a combined solution. So I completely understand the competitive space that small businesses are in, even large businesses are in. But if there's an avenue to come together for a combined solution aggregately, then I think everybody's a win in that regard. So keep that in mind. Just like Cody said, we're going to protect your IP. We're not here to disclose anything. But also keep that in mind from a company's lens that, maybe working together could be the best solution. Over.
And Cody, I'd only like to add one other thing to that is we're going to be working with you as a company. So if you have a special request, a special need, or some other variance that you require, reach out to us. We want to work with you and we want to bring those technologies together. So we're here to assist you and assist the government to make sure that this is successful for everyone.
Super. Thanks, gentlemen. Another question's coming. Get 2 more. So if you have another one, feel free to populate. We're about at the end of the one so far. This question says, is this open to small businesses only? Is there risk to the fiscal year 27 funding by a large business? And
yeah,
go ahead, Mike.
The preference is a small business. They want to work with a small business and, like Leaf explained earlier, get up to that TRL9 level. So right now we're looking at small businesses.
Very good. What is the SBCC role, and will you require a formal relationship with each selected company?
No, we're a concierge for the government. We're here to work with the government as a disinterested third party of all of the technologies out there. We're not integrated into your business, and we're not looking for a formal relationship. We are trying to make that introduction to the government and help the government find the technologies they need to be successful. So once you get that relationship with the government and it's ongoing, SBCC fades out of the way and starts working other issues.
Fantastic. Thanks, Mike. All right, last question that I'm seeing here is the primary focus to aid in aircraft maintenance at Warner Robins, in the theater, or both?
So the initial piece is going to be the Warner Robins Air Logistics Complex and making sure that the depot level maintenance that's happened there is being inspected visually to the best of its ability. If that technology proves itself and is portable and packable, there's other stuff in the future. But what we're looking at is supporting Warner Robins, ALC, and their inspections. Over.
Fantastic. That's the last of the questions. We'll give another moment here for individuals to add any additional questions. While we're giving that last opportunity, Ryan, would you like to walk through the drone waiver just to make sure everybody understands that piece?
Yeah, absolutely, Joel. If you don't mind going to that website, and then just to pile on for what's the relationship look like with us postpartum of the showcases. We'll be assisting via project management for these efforts. We understand that this could be R&D, these could be phase 3s, these could be IDIQs. There's a myriad of different contracting vehicles that the government has available to further advance TRLs. So we'll be right there along with you, helping you along the way. So this is the drone small UAS information for waiver approvals. It says waiver approvals. That's the preponderance of the justification on why we need this information. Any commercial off-the-shelf systems wanting to fly in a DoD airspace need approval through our exception to policy process. And if you're a business that has done any drone work with the government in the past, you understand these this acronym I'm about to say. It's with the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act. So we've got 3 of them, 2020, 2022, 2023, that we need to abide by. And what we need from you is just what's already articulated on here. So general company information. And then the first section is your aircraft modified or unmodified? This is the key aspect. So for instance, the Skydio X2 Delta question that was brought up earlier, it's not modified. So you click on no, unmodified, and then it tells you where to go and fill out all the information. So agnostic, if you need a waiver or not, please let us know what drone you're planning to bring out there, along with your qualification for your pilot, if he's a Buck or FAR Part 107, if you plan to have observers to go along with your pilot, we'll need that information. In turn, what we're using here, just for everybody's situational awareness, we're submitting a, obviously, exception to policy through the Department of the Air Force waiver, a FAA waiver to get us approval to fly at the facility, and also a base electromagnetic spectrum waiver, take into account the radio frequencies between the vehicle and controller. So if you're planning to bring a drone out or a small unmanned aircraft system, group 3 or smaller, please, nothing, no reapers or predators out there. Let us know, and so we can start that process sooner. Just like Cody mentioned, time's of the money. We're about to embark on the holiday season. And so if the sooner we have your information, the sooner we can start processing it. Thank you.
Super. Thanks, Ryan. A couple more questions have come in. We'll answer those and give you just another moment for any other questions while we're answering these, and then we'll go into closing comments. Yes, sir.
Hey, Cody, real quick, just to clarify, the question earlier about having the relationship, since we do represent the government, we will have a project manager function role in this as it moves forward if a company is selected, but that relationship will be from the government side, not us trying to create a relationship with the company. Over.
Yeah, copy that. We'll continue to be there to support and offer help. That's yeah, I appreciate you bringing that to their attention. Good. How would a custom-built drone be classified, modified or unmodified? Ryan, you want to answer that?
Yeah, I was typing the response.
Oh, sorry.
Custom built, if there's not already a well-known, if there's not a patent associated with the naming convention of your drone, unmodified is fine. However, what we need from you is the components listing and where they're manufactured from. So unmodified or modified is fine. Please provide, there's an area we can attach files. If you can just give us a quick Excel, Word doc, scratch sheet of paper, where the critical components and subcomponents are manufactured, that's what we need from a custom built drone.
Very good. If we were to bring a robotic inspection system, does that also require a waiver form?
If it's not flying, if there's not a vehicle separate from a control system and it's flying, then no, you would not need a waiver form for that.
Hey,
okay, last question. Go ahead.
Hey, Leaf, on that one, would it be fair to say if you have to control your robot with anything within the electromagnetic spectrum, like radio frequency, then that would require a waiver?
Potentially on the radio frequency spectrum management side, potentially yes, but for the drone exception of policy, no, because it's only for airborne. But I mean, you brought up a good point. I would say just let us know in the technical aspects of your white paper, what frequency it's transmitting on, and then we'll interpret that as needed to submit a waiver if need be.
Yeah, and I think I'm just going to jump in and say too, if your technology solution is not a drone solution, something different, I encourage you to submit sooner rather than later and ask questions sooner rather than later. That way, we can make sure that all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted, so that you're ready to go when the submission gets entered. Also, can someone put Ryan Erickson's email in the chat? That way, folks know he's going to be a great point of contact for them. If they have any follow-up questions after the AMA is over, make sure that goes in there. Yeah, folks, check your chat for some helpful links to the website, the waiver, Ryan Erickson's email. Please be nice to him and don't spread that across the internet. Let's see. Does integration with a
Tony, this
does
is
integrate?
this
Yes, sir,
is
Chad.
Chad. I just want to hit two things on the relationship question to make sure we're abundantly clear. SBCC works on behalf of the government that pays for our contract. We will have a relationship to an extent with the companies that the government selects, that the government wants to work with. And as such, on behalf of our government customer, we will have interactions with the selected companies. And so if, for example, the choice is to submit for a SIBR or a sitter, we will work with the company to get the best submission possible. With that, we will ask for a hold harmless agreement between SBCC and the selected company to be signed. At the same time, we are also willing to sign NDAs with the companies that we're working with on behalf of the government to protect your IP or anything else, and essentially guaranteeing that we will not share that with other entities or companies out there. I just want to make sure that that's very clear. Again, we do not charge a penny from the companies that we work with on behalf of the government. Over.
Thank you, sir. Very helpful. A few more questions are in the queue here. Is there a path to add tech stack between the 10 December submission and 19 February execution?
If that requires some sort of a waiver process, I don't. Leaf, what do you think about that question?
Is it referring to adding additional technical information that bolsters the proposal? Are they able to come up live and expand upon that, Joel?
Yes, they can. I just need to know. It was a anonymous question, so I don't know who.
Can they
If you
raise
could
their
write
hand?
your name in the raise your hand or put your name in the Q&A real quick. I can.
And if for some reason that they didn't want to come up live and do it, if they definitely submit that question, it'll be answered and we can get that put out as well.
Yeah, very good. But I would say for time's sake and just assume, Ryan, that they're talking about continuing to develop their capabilities. Something comes up between, when they submit and the actual execution of the showcase, what do they need to do? Any comments you have that would be helpful
I think
to them,
they would just
add now.
edit. Okay, so in that regard, just annotate that within your path. There's like in the plot chart, there's a path to TRL9. If you're making a significant advancement in your technology over a month and a half, then annotate that there. Other than that, though, I don't think we'll be able to review anything submitted outside of the quad chart, 2-page white paper, and up to 3-minute optional video. You can submit it by all means, but if we can't take that into account for one company and not another. So we're limiting the workload for our government stakeholders to evaluate these proposals. And if you submit, War and Peace that goes along with it, it's going to inundate that review process. So just keep that in mind. You can submit, but it won't be evaluated.
Super. Thanks, Ryan. Another question says, if we're submitting multiple tech solutions, e.g. handheld vision systems, drone-mounted vision system, robotic vision system, etc., should each have its own 2-page white paper?
Leaf, do you want that one?
Ideally, no. If you can combine them all into one submission just by selecting the different verticals of the technology focus areas, and it's pretty intuitive once you'll see it. Drones, check. Artificial intelligence, check. Optics, check. We'll take that into account when we're reviewing. If there's any additional information needed, after the fact, we'll reach out to you. But if you can do your best, capture it. It's a 3-minute video. There's a lot that can be conveyed in a 3-minute video. I would recommend incorporating that there, and then hit the wave tops, 30,000 foot view in your quad chart and 2-page white paper. A good question.
Last one. So to clarify, submit what we have today and not additional IR&D we may complete in the interim.
I think this was the back to that
I think
question
so.
between now and 19 Feb. Yes, submit today where you're at today and include that in your. I'll be honest, it's only a month and a half from now, and so if you're making significant advances in your technology, then great. Just annotate that within your quad chart and white paper. There's areas for that to be incorporated. Having a significant advancement in a month and a half, I guess it could happen. So just convey that as best you can.
All right, that brings us to the end of the questions so far. We have some closing comments. If you want to fire a last question, now's your time. Go ahead and populate those there. Let me go over to you, Mike, to see if you have any closing comments that you'd like to share with the companies that are here today.
First, just like to thank all of you for participating. We really appreciate you reaching out with your questions and your interest in this, making this process work better. And thank you to Warner Robins for trusting us to set this up for them. And just remember, if you could focus on a system that's in those verticals, especially if it's a small unmanned aerial system, that would be. And if you think you have something that adds to the fight and makes us better and more lethal, please add it, and we'll reach out if we need more data. Thank you.
Very good. So just to remind everyone too, we welcome additional questions after the AMA. Again, you have Ryan Erickson's email there. He's going to be our point of contact for you. You can email your questions to him, and we encourage all of you to apply. If you have follow-up questions that you want to clarify something about the application process, if you have so many great technologies that you feel like need to be split up into 2 or 3, reach out to Ryan. He can consort with us, the team, and we'll get you some clarity on that. The application deadline again is 10 December. So we want to make sure that you get that in prior to that date. Again, if you have drone related technology, try to get that waiver in as soon as possible, because there's a process that we have to go through to make sure you get clearance to come and use that in that area. Let's see, reminder as well. What are your benefits? What do you get out of this? Well, first, again, just remember that to apply is to win. You're going to get helpful, honest, direct feedback from potential customers, knowledgeable individuals that are or were in the U.S. military, and they're going to give you great feedback on how you can make your solution even better, even more appetizing to the DoD, potentially find other avenues where you could use it in addition to this one. You can build relationships and begin building those with key decision makers in the military. And frankly, the wise among you will understand that these relationships alone can take you and your business much, much farther than winning this one showcase. Having the right relationships with the right people is really what often wins the day. So making those good connections is extremely valuable. It's hard to get time with these decision makers. And so anything you can do to get in front of them is just wise from a business perspective. You also get the chance to meet venture capitalists. You'll get to know SBCC, who can help you, again, free of charge, get your tech in front of the Air Force when they have need of it. And you can come alongside and assist the United States Air Force, and you can literally contribute to the safety and security of your family, of all the families of these great United States of America. And last but not least, this can be potentially very, very profitable for you. So keep those things in mind as you consider applying. With that, just kind of want to remind you, there's a question about the VCs here. That list has started of those who are accepting, and it's still growing. I don't know yet if or when we're going to kind of publicly acknowledge that. Looks like Dayton's answering that in the question. Thank you, Dayton. Just so everybody knows, this AMA is going to be available via YouTube afterwards, and we're going to have a link placed on the Showcase website as well. So thanks again to everyone for attending. We really look forward to receiving your applications, seeing the amazing things that you and your company have been working hard to develop, and most of all, seeing our United States military stronger because you're a part of it. Thanks again. Bye-bye.